Hey everyone, welcome to Brainwaves. This is our very first episode. My name is Jason. I am here with Barry. If you're new to this, and you are, because we all are together, this is where we take pop culture, anything that we need to debate that we can't let go of, and we really hash it out, all in about 20 minutes. Today, Barry, we got a good one. We both experienced the Odyssey this past weekend, and that's part of what we want to touch on. The Odyssey has been touted as being a huge IMAX movie, shot for IMAX, start to finish in IMAX. You got to see it in IMAX. People are spending tons of money to see it at IMAX. Neither one of us saw it in IMAX. And so that begs the question of this first show's topic, format versus comfort. Barry T. Nixon, you wanted to see this in IMAX. Talk to me about
begging.
this. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
How hard did you work
And
for
you
it?
too. And you
I
too,
didn't.
Jay. The fact is, it is sold out everywhere. There is no screens available. If you scroll ahead at the time of this recording, you might, even Wednesday, middle of August at 10 in the morning, sold out.
You're kidding me.
Wild.
I can't
No, I'm
believe
not
it.
kidding you.
I don't, I honestly, I can't believe that, first of all, people are waiting that long to see it, because usually you want to see a movie when it comes out, the spoilers are out there, but people are actually deferring seeing it to the middle of August just so that they can experience it in IMAX.
Some people are, but not us.
So tell me about that.
That's lunacy.
Yeah, you tried to, but you pivoted to, well, you tell us, AVX.
Yeah, Ultra AVX.
What is that?
It's a nice big screen with a perfect picture and sound. I mean, it's not really
IMAX.
It is different than IMAX. It's quite a bit different. It's smaller, but it's still like a very high quality viewing experience. So,
yeah,
I don't think anyone should be turned away from seeing it if they can't get themselves IMAX tickets today. That's my advice.
But you did try for IMAX. Like, you wanted that full format experience. Like, you weren't going to satisfy yourself by just going to any old movie theater to see this thing. Like, you even downgraded to AVX, which is a pretty expensive ticket, right? So talk to me a little bit about that. You chose format.
It's so funny. It's not really a downgrade, though. That's funny that you say a downgrade to Ultra AVX. It's still a very comfortable, enjoyable viewing experience, Jay. I wasn't in the movie like you would expect with IMAX, where you feel like you're in it because your entire field of vision is enveloped with these massive images. Yes, you didn't have that. However, thoroughly enjoyed my experience. And I will say this, when IMAX tickets do come available, I will double dip this movie, and I will take executive producer Linda LeBrun because she still hasn't seen it. So there will be a double dip at the theater. And I don't do that very often.
No kidding. Just so that you can experience it in that format.
I need to, eventually.
Explain to me the need. What is the need about this format that is driving you? Because this is the crux of what we want to talk about. And I'll take the other side of it. But what is driving you? Like a salmon to the spawning grounds. You want to go, you're going to swim upstream until you get a ticket.
Absolutely. Just empty all my eggs right there. I mean, I can't wait to empty them, Jay. Yeah, I'm dying to.
Hopefully you're in the front row then, because anybody ahead of you is going to, anyway, carry on.
Yeah, get the hip waiters. The fact is, there's no substitution for the size and scale of an IMAX film. There just isn't. It doesn't exist. And so that is the primary driver. This is, I think, the first like Hollywood film that's front to back, start to finish, however you want to say it. Everything is shot in IMAX using IMAX cameras. And so the entire thing is meant to be viewed, 15 stories tall. And I want to experience that. And I know I will eventually when the tickets become available.
That's crazy. Yeah. That's incredible.
It's insane.
Yeah. I
take the other end.
Yeah. So I went, there was never even a question about me wanting to go see this thing in IMAX. I knew it would be a hard ticket to get. I didn't even go searching for an IMAX theater. I immediately went to the same theater that executive producer Aldo Roma and I always see our movies in, which was the Bloor Varsity Cinema VIP.
Right.
Classic. The oldest, I think, VIPs in the city, probably the smallest screens, probably the fewest seats. Like the seats are a little squeaky sometimes because they're a bit older. They could use some WD-40 on those seats, but that was all I wanted. Like, I choose comfort. When I go to a movie theater, I picked our end seats because I know exactly where seats 1 and 2 are on an aisle.
Yeah. Perfect.
I want popcorn and pop delivered to my chair. Yes. I want that whole experience. To me, the comfort of it is much more important than the big screen.
Wow.
I saw the movie and I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was a good movie, but
yeah,
I don't have that same pull to also have to see it like really big. Like, I don't get it. I struggle to get it. Help me get it.
Ordinarily, I would probably lean towards your point of view on this one, Jay. But
Really?
given that this, like I said, the entire film is shot in this format, it's begging to be seen. And let's be real, there's not been a movie phenomenon like this since probably the first Avatar, where it was sold out everywhere. You couldn't get a ticket. It was, like few weeks, you'd have to scroll ahead to see if there was anything available. It's that same type of like global phenomenon that's gripping planet Earth right now, Jay. And why is it? Because the entire movie is 15 stories tall. That's why you need to be part of it. I need to be part of it.
I guess it had to be because there were plenty of seats available in the VIP and anybody could come in, and we welcome you there and please enjoy the show, but they don't want to be in here. They want to be in the very few IMAX seats available. And then is it fair to say, Barry, there are also only an extra limited number of IMAX screens that are like real IMAX on the planet? Is that true?
Yeah, I read somewhere, I don't know whether this is true, but there's probably like 50 screens.
On the planet?
Only 50. I don't know about on the planet. I think North America, but it could be on the planet. We'll have to check that with our fact-checking AI. But the fact is, you can't get a ticket even if you wanted one unless you bought them. Because you may remember, the tickets for this movie went on a year ago. They went on sale 1 year in advance. And for those who got on it quick are laughing and enjoying life. But for the, some of us latecomers, well, we got to enjoy AVX. And okay, so tell me more about why you love the VIP. Yes, you say, the person brings you the corn and all that stuff, but you got a squeaky seat. Is it still comfortable, or is that annoying for you? Because I know that you don't necessarily care for squeaky noises. It's not something you really gravitate towards. You don't seek it out.
No. I'll tell you
about that.
When I do choose comfort, and I will almost always choose comfort over format. I don't like it when I make the choice for comfort and it's not 100% comfortable. I notice the squeak because I'm like, I've gone out of my way to sit in a much more comfortable experience for myself. I know I'm not getting the full screen. I know there's things I'm giving up. And so when I hear that squeak, I'm tuned to that squeak because it's not perfect comfort. Next time I may bring my own WD-40 and give it a little squirt and it'll be fine. It'll be great for everybody. But somebody in that theater should be listening. There should be a theater manager there or an owner just sitting back and going, we shouldn't have squeaks here. Because they're not even the most comfortable VIP seats. These are old seats. They're very nice and they're good and they're relaxing, but they're not like the ones with there are even more comfortable VIPs that you could go to. I just like this one. And it's close to home. So again, comfort. We walk there and back. That's part of the comfort, the full experience. We control the entire commute. There's no subway, there's no Uber, there's no waiting. We control everything from start to finish. And that for me is just a relief. I find that to be a part of the enjoyable experience.
I love it.
Yeah.
Very well said.
Yeah.
I'm going to share a little story with you about comfort as well, but this is a little bit different than seeing a film. This was a traveling experience. Linda and I had gone on a vacation, and the next day I was, let's just say, a little backed up. We go downstairs to the breakfast area, and I swear to God, was a tower. It looked like a grocery store display, a tower of all-bran. And Linda leans over to me and says, might I suggest for the gentleman? And I was like, yes, let's go. And she knew that I was not comfortable, Jay. And as my wife of almost 20 years, she could sense it. She pointed towards that pyramid of relief, and I went ahead and took advantage of it. So again, comfort. You got to be comfortable, especially when you travel.
You do have to be comfortable when you travel. I'll pick up on that. I will tell you this. So you know that, and some of our listeners from our previous show, Two Shot Tuesday, will know that I worked several weeks in Japan for a film project that's still yet to come out. And I will tell you that at every possible way, and this will come as no surprise to you, I upgraded my ticket wherever I could go because I'm not counting on the check to pay for my salary kind of thing. So I took the opportunity to say, I'm going there. I'm being paid to go there. My hotel is being covered there. It is well worth it for me to move from the premium economy, which I was in, which was very nice. And I took that all the way back the first time. But where I could upgrade to a pod, You better believe, Barry, I upgraded to a pod. And I made,
yes,
to the point of I made a bit of a nuisance of myself trying to get into a pod on that final leg between Vancouver and Toronto, which was the final leg of the final trip. And I could not get there. I managed to get into from economy to a premium economy in the middle. And I was trying to get all the way up to a pod. And I just, Barry, I was, it broke my heart when I couldn't get the full comfort all the way through. But I did it wherever I could. And would you do that? Would you upgrade to a pod where you could, or would you be more comfortable just saying, this is where I am, this is the ticket I got? Like, how are you on travel?
I mean, Jay, I would love to experience the pod. Now, if I had been hired to do an acting job overseas and were in a situation that you were in, perhaps I could justify that expenditure, but I don't know if I could justify it if I were just going on a vacation with my wife, because she, being a petite lady, wouldn't necessarily care or require a pod. And so therefore, if one person's sitting in extreme luxury and the other person isn't, I'm not sure that really works when you're doing a couple's holiday. However, in your situation, if I was a solo traveler and I was going for a specific role or some kind of gig, dude, I would definitely consider it 100%. I would be leaning heavily toward doing exactly what you did.
Okay, well, here's a top tip. If you want to travel in comfort, don't book ahead into the pod because those are very expensive seats.
Yeah.
But as you get closer to check-in, and this is where I did it, at check-in, sometimes the options are available. And that's when I took advantage of that. In fact, one time I was in the airport and I was asking before we got on, that was the cheapest pod upgrade I had for a 14-hour flight. It was like an extra $450. And I was like, that's perfect. That's like less than $50 an hour. I was like, I'll take that any day of the week.
Yeah.
It got a little more expensive through Air Canada coming back, but not that much more. But it certainly wasn't like it's a ridiculous price when you see the ticket for a first class or for a business class. I would not book that. But as you get closer, it would behoove you or not behoove you. I think it would behoove you to check and just see what's available for you. So that's comfort while traveling.
I will definitely consider that if I ever find myself solo traveling, but I don't find myself doing that too often, Jay, if at all.
You never know. You never know when people might, want you for Brainwaves to come and make a public speaking engagement across the pond.
Sure.
Could happen.
Yeah, it could happen.
I've got one more for you around.
Yeah, please.
This is a format choice I know you'll take over comfort, and I want to understand a bit more. You've talked about it previously. I've discussed this topic, but physical media versus streaming media. Having it at your fingertips versus getting up, putting it into a machine, having to keep a physical disc handy. Where do you land on this, Barry? I know where it is, and please explain. Is it format or is it comfort?
Well, in this case, Jay, it is 1000% format.
Why?
I am absolutely always going to reach for the disc if I want to watch a movie. Why? Because when you're streaming something, or if you even purchased a digital copy, Jay, all you're doing truly is renting long term. You don't actually own it. If the studio loses the license to have that particular movie, it's deleted from your library, Jay. That's no way to live. If it's certain movies you need to own, if you need them for your library, you need them on a disc. When I say you, I mean me, but I do mean you as well, because you and I are birds of a feather on this particular issue. Absolutely physical media. You can't beat the picture. You can't beat the sound. You get the lossless audio. You can't get that with a stream. I don't care how fast your internet is. It's not going to get you close to what a physical disc can do, because it just has more memory, more storage.
Yeah. I don't know I don't know if we're exactly birds of a feather, but I'm with you on the 4K because I hear you. Lossless audio, the perfect image. Yeah. Like if it's a movie like Dune and Dune 2, like I want to own that as a physical disc. I find it a bit frustrating to have to constantly be getting up and putting in a disc and changing a disc. And like I don't love that on things like, I collect classic Doctor Who on my Blu-rays, and I do it for the exact same reason as you. I want to own them. They do stream on like Tubi and stuff like that, but I want to own them. I don't want commercials. I want to make sure I have this format. But I do find it a bit frustrating because I got to get up and change discs between shows and episodes, and what episode is this? And then if I take it out after watching one to watch something else, because you know me, I don't like to go all the way through on things. I like to, half hour switch out to something else. I find that to be a bit annoying. And in fact, just this past weekend, I made a purchase on Apple, and it's all, and I know you're not interested in this at all, The New Adventures of He-Man, Barry, the unknown follow-up series to Masters of the Universe.
Yeah.
It was not by Filmation. I will get into this in another episode, but I owned it for $29 on Apple. I click and I got like all 60 episodes and they're there and I'm just clicking my way through. And I got to say, there's a satisfaction to being able to just do that, especially for this show that's a 1980s and 90s cartoon that does not matter about the picture quality. It is not upscaled to 4K. It's just there.
Right.
And I own it. And it's actually cheaper than the DVDs because those were released many years ago. They're not going to get updated. So they're selling them, at ridiculous prices. And here on Apple, I was able to have that for $30 in a second.
You did. And I agree. It all sounds really, really good. However, you're still, I don't know if you actually own it. You kind of are like long-term renting. Because what happens if Apple decides we don't have the licensing for this anymore and it's deleted from your library? That has happened. That will happen again. So that is the only risk that you run. Yeah, that's maybe why it's $30. It's so enticing. Even if you have it for a year, you're like, oh, well, I had it for a year before it got deleted. But there is that risk versus you buying physical media. I mean, no one's deleting anything. No one's getting rid of any of your discs except you.
That's true.
So that's my only thing.
Yep,
that's my
true.
only counterpoint to that. But I do appreciate what you mean about being able to burn through a bunch of episodes, not having to flip discs. Although in the case of Seinfeld, like you've been kind enough to loan me some seasons, you usually get like 5 or 6 episodes per disc. So it's not like you have to get up every episode and flip a disc. It's not like, a record. You know what I mean? You're not doing that. So it's not that arduous for some. Maybe for you it is. I don't know.
It is. I think you get lulled into that sense of comfort. And so then it's like you just get used to it. And so then any annoyance is an annoyance. Like any little interruption of that.
It's true. Yep.
So that's where we landed on format versus comfort. I think we don't always sync up. You'll choose format for the most part. I think I'll tend to lean towards comfort for the most part. We can say that we both enjoyed Odyssey in what would be neither of us saw it in the preferred format. And I do look forward to hearing your review when you do in fact see it without me in IMAX. Are you booking your ticket? Book it now if you need to. Like, you might as well.
Yeah, I'm going to get on it. I have to because, my wife, executive producer, Linda LeBrun, has definitely expressed interest in, as you know, Jay, from previous chats, she's not into Hollywood. In fact, she hates Hollywood. However, she's willing to come to this movie just because of the spectacle of it and the fact that it's gripping our planet like no other movie has since the original Avatar.
Perfect. Well, let's leave it there. She is definitely choosing format over comfort because she wants to experience it in the pure format along with you, I think, to see exactly how much you're smiling and cheering and whatever you're doing.
Cheering,
seeding,
for sure.
Spreading your seed, as you mentioned you'd be doing. Spreading your seed.
I can't wait.
As you spawn. Barry, great episode.
Well,
we'll be back again next
Jay.
week with another something we just can't get our brains out. Thank you for helping me empty my head on this one.
Anytime, Jay. See you next week.
Bye.